Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Vidiot Entertainment Studios for this episode of Vidiot Movie Reviews. I'm the nerd Lust Daddy, and today we continue our series reviewing every North American live-action video game film adaptation theatrical release. For today's review, we look at another Ubisoft adaptation as we review the 2010 action fantasy film Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
I hope this is better than the Far Cry adaptation.
I think it will be, Pidds. We aren't dealing with another Uwe Boll film here, so that's promising. Let's dive in and find out for ourselves. Now, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was released in North American theaters on March 28, 2010. At that time, 13 games and combinations of original releases, sequels, reboots, spin-offs, remakes, and compilations had been released in the series. We're going to ignore the spin-offs, remakes, and compilations and just list all mainline releases. Those are Prince of Persia 2: The Shadow and the Flame, Prince of Persia 3D, the trilogy Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and The Two Thrones, the 2008 reboot Prince of Persia, and Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. We will use Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time for comparison as the film is specifically adapted from it. Now, in the video game, the plot involves the prince and the army of his father, Shahraman, moving through India to visit the Sultan of Azad. The vizier of the local Maharaja is interested in acquiring the Sands of Time, which are stored in the Maharaja's palace, in order for him to become immortal. He tricks the prince and his father's army into attacking the palace so that he can attempt to acquire the sands during the resulting chaos. During the battle, the prince loots one of their treasures called the Dagger of Time and also captures the princess to be given as a gift to the Sultan of Azad. While visiting Azad, the prince is once again tricked by the vizier into releasing the Sands of Time, which everyone but the prince, vizier, and Farah, who are all protected by magical baubles, are turned into monsters. The vizier attempts to take the dagger from the prince, but the prince escapes from him. The prince and Farah then agree to work together to stop the vizier and attempt to stop the Sands of Time from covering and destroying the world. Now, in the film, the plot is similar, but with some liberties taken. It involves Prince Dastan, who is the adopted son of Persia's king Shahraman, and adopted brother to his sons by birth, Tus and Garsif. The king adopted him due to the strength of character he witnessed when Dastan was a young boy and he saw him fight back against one of his own guards that was mistreating and beating another young boy. As a young man, he and his brothers are camped along with the king's army outside of the holy city of Alamat. The king's brother, Nizam, meets with the brothers and shows them a cache of weapons he claims was discovered by one of his spies. He says these weapons have been forged by the city of Alamat and have been provided to the enemies of Persia. Nizam insists they should immediately invade the holy city to stop them, while Dastan implores his brother to seek further investigation before waging war upon the city. Tus, currently in charge of the king's army, struggles with his decision but ultimately decides to invade the city. While invading the city, Dastan defeats a guard and takes a dagger from him that Princess Tamina of Alamet had implored the guard to take and hide due to its importance. The princess is captured and taken back to Persia. And while in Persia, Dastan is approached by Tus, who reminds him that he must bring an offering to the king for their victory, and when he has none, he gives him the ceremonial robe of Alamet's head priest to give to their father. Upon everyone meeting with the king, Dastan presents the robe to him, which he is impressed with and quickly puts on. As the king begins addressing the court, he screams out in pain as his flesh begins burning and he dies before everyone. The robe had been poisoned and everyone turns and looks to Gaston as the guilty party as he had gifted the robe to the king. Gaston then fights off attempts to capture him and escapes along with the princess, who claims she can help him, and he tells her that he did not kill his father. After escaping the palace, the two stop to rest and begin chatting. The princess begins to try and seduce Dastan in an attempt to get close to the dagger and take it back. In a struggle between them for the dagger, Dastan discovers it can send the user back in time while being the only one who retains their memories of previous events. He deduces that Tus must have wanted to get the dagger to wield its immense power. He and Tamina then agree to work together in an attempt to discover for sure who it was that sought this power and clear Dastan's name. Alright, we have some pretty good plot similarities here. While there are some liberties taken that I do like, I still enjoy the plot overall and think that it fits well within the universe. I think the changes to the plot in the film version actually improve it by making it much more involving and giving it a sense of greater deception to have to deal with. Even though it was a bit obvious right away where the plot was going to go, I still enjoyed the ride. This gets a hawoo from me. Pidds, what did you think of the plot?
Hawoo!
So what about setting and world representation? Well, we get beautiful cinematography that exudes ancient Persia and fits within the game universe. The costume and set designs are also fantastic and fit well within the universe, as well as the period it is set in. We also get plenty of action just like in the game, and we also get plenty of parkour from the prince just like in them as well. They make it a point to ensure it is a core part of his character and abilities and use it throughout the movie. They nailed it here, and this is another easy hawoo for me. Pidds, what did you think of the setting and world representation?
Hawoo!
Our time for the characters in the film will, as usual, be sticking to the main characters from the games, and those within the film played by starring actors. We'll begin with Prince of Persia, played by Richard Coyle, known for his roles in the TV series Coupling, and more recently in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and as Aberforth Dumbledore in the film Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Here he is one of the biological sons of the king. The role is played very well and believable as the thoughtful and tactical of the two biological sons. He portrays a man of thought and compassion who tries to do what is right but is still young and inexperienced enough to make mistakes. He gets a hawoo from me. Pidds, what did you think of Tuss?
Hawoo!
Prince Garsev of Persia, portrayed by Toby Kebbe, known for his roles in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Fantastic Four, and Kong Skull Island. Here, he's the other biological son of the king, who is more headstrong and quicker to run into battle and try to solve things with force rather than thought. This is another excellent and believable performance that I enjoyed quite a bit. Easy hawoo here too. Pidds, what did you think of Garsev?
Hawoo!
King Shahraman, played by Ronald Pickup, known mostly for his roles in BBC TV series and his theatrical stage performances. Here he is the King of Persia. The representation is one of a man wise with age and experience, as well as full of compassion and love for his people. Even though he isn't in the movie for long, the performance is believable and appreciated. He gets a hawoo. Pidds, what did you think of the king?
Hawoo!
Sheikh Amar, played by Alfred Molina, known for his roles in Not Without My Daughter, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Here he's the Sheik that Destan and Tamina run into while they're on the run from the king's men. The performance is excellent as the sleazy Sheik who's out for nothing other than his own survival and acquiring treasures and wealth at any cost. A fantastic performance in this style as usual from Molina. This is a definite hawoo. Pidds, what did you think of Amar?
Hawoo!
Princess Tamina of Alaman, portrayed by Gemma Arterton, known for her roles in Quantum of Solace and the 2010 version of Clash of the Titans. Here she is the adaptation of the princess from the game, and it is an admirable one. She shows dedication and love for her people as well as for all of humankind. Not only that, but she is fearless in her will to protect and keep the dagger of time from the hands of those who would do evil with it. Yet another easy hawoo here. Pidds, what did you think of Tamina?
Hawoo!
Prince Nizam of Persia, King Shahraman's brother, played by none other than multi-time nominated and Academy Award-winning Ben Kingsley, who's known for his roles in Gandhi, Schindler's List, and House of Sand and Fog. Here he plays the brother to the king who seems to have something to hide and may very well be living a life full of jealousy towards his brother. As usual, Kingsley's performance is fantastic and believable, filled with emotion and expression that feels real. A very easy hawoo here for me. Pidds, what did you think of Nizam?
Hawoo!
Prince Destan of Persia, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, known for his roles in Donnie Darko, Brokeback Mountain, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Here we see him play the titular character from the game. The portrayal is excellent as a young, cocky, overly confident, yet talented and thoughtful prince who only wants what's best for his family and his people. This portrayal is a straight-up hawoo from me. Pidds, what did you think of Destan?
Hawoo!
Alright, time for our final verdicts. This film was incredibly surprising, not only in its plot being an improvement over the originals, but also in its fantastic setting and world representation, along with a stellar cast bringing great character representation and believable acting. Let's turn to the Pidds first for his thoughts. Pidds, what did you think about The Sands of Time?
Hawoo!
I agree, Pidds. This movie is fantastic for all the reasons mentioned before and more. I can highly recommend this film and can give it what I think is our highest rating yet in this series. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time gets a 9 Z's out of 10 Z's. It's fantastic as an adaptation or continuation of the Prince of Persia story and universe, and could even easily stand on its own without the IP tied to it. The only reason I took a point away is for the plot being a bit easy to figure out the big mystery behind, but otherwise, this movie is nearly flawless as a video game adaptation. If you're a fan of the Prince of Persia series, or even just a fan of action-adventure films in general, I highly recommend this film, as it will be well worth your time. The Pidds and I want to thank you all for once again tuning into Vidiot Entertainment Studios for this episode of Vidiot Movie Reviews. If you enjoyed our video, please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and share to show your support. And don't forget to also check us out and subscribe on Twitch, as well as follow us on Twitter. Until next time, I'm the Nerd Lust Daddy, as always, reminding you all to not be chit futters to each other. Body autonomy for all, reproductive rights for women, and peace, love, and happiness to all. Take us out, Pidds.
Thank yous all again for watching. See yous next time.